Now to new developments in the war in Ukraine and a possible ceasefire deal on the table to pause the fighting between Russia and Ukraine. The ceasefire would last 30 days, but now it's up to Russia to agree to the terms. The U.S. has also agreed to resume military aid and intelligence sharing to Ukraine. This comes after that volatile meeting last month between President Trump, Vice President Vance, and Ukrainian President Zelensky. Josh Einiger in the newsroom with details. Josh?
Well, Sade, it wouldn't be unreasonable to get whiplash from the back and forth here in relations between the Trump administration and Ukrainian officials. But today, at talks hosted in Jeddah in Saudi Arabia, Secretary of State Marco Rubio reached a deal with the Ukrainians, which would have that country's military lay down its arms in its grinding war against Russia, although Russia would have to agree. Just hours after Ukraine launched a massive drone strike against Moscow and an oil refinery critical to Russia's war effort, 3,000 miles away in Saudi Arabia, diplomacy was kicking into high gear. A deal between the U.S. and Ukraine to get the Ukrainians to the table with the Russians. The ball now in Vladimir Putin's court.
We're going to tell them this is what's on the table. Ukraine is ready to stop shooting and start talking. And now it'll be up to them to say yes or no. I hope they're going to say yes, and if they do, then I think we made great progress. If they say no, then we'll unfortunately know what the impediment is to peace here.
After more than 3 years of the full-scale invasion of Russia and unfortunately about 11 years of the starting of aggressions against our country, and of course we're ready to do everything to achieve peace.
It's a remarkable turnaround from last month's calamitous Oval Office meeting between President Trump and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky.
Right now, you're playing cards. You're playing cards.
The two sides walking away from a deal that would have compensated the U.S. for its support in the war so far. But today, both sides have cooled off.
I think it's a big difference between the last visit you saw at the Oval Office and this. So that's a total ceasefire. Ukraine has agreed to it, and hopefully Russia will agree to it. We're going to meet with them later on today and tomorrow, and hopefully we'll be able to wipe out a deal. But I think the ceasefire is very important. If we can get Russia to do it, that'll be great. If we can't, we just keep going on and people are going to get killed.
It was just a few days ago that Trump pulled U.S. security assistance from Ukraine, but Ukrainians are now saying that has now been restored. And meanwhile, from the Putin government in the past hour, they say they are interested in a settlement in Ukraine, but, quote, the government will not allow itself to be deceived. The Putin government adding they don't rule out contacts with U.S. representatives in the coming days. Sade.